Fly Me to the Moon is a movie that just hit theaters. This comes from director Craig Berlanti, whose last film was Love, Simon. This movie is not totally based in a real story, more on a conspiracy theory. The film stars Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum. Tatum plays the character of Cole Davis, who is leading the launch of Apollo 11 from headquarters at NASA as America is trying to win the space race with Russia. But Kelly Jones, played by Johansson, is brought in to revamp NASA from a marketing perspective, as NASA is also battling with the Vietnam War on news coverage and how valuable both things are to America. Also in the movie is Mo Barkus, played by Woody Harrelson, who hires Jones to come in for the marketing team for NASA. And also Ray Romano plays Henry Smalls, a very close friend who co-works with Tatum's character at NASA. The film is 2 hours and 12 minutes long and is PG-13. Welcome back to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Hindenburg. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. I talk all things movies, TV shows, movie box office shows. I do out of theater reactions and franchise rankings. So please subscribe, ring the bell. If you're new to the channel, comment down below. What are your thoughts on Fly Me to the Moon? If you saw it, did you like it? Did you not like it? If you have not seen it, tell me, are you going to check it out? Or is this one that you don't want to see in the movie theater and just want to see at the comfort of your home? Please, I like responding to all your comments. They've been great as of late. Keep it going in the comment section. Also, please like the video, guys. Help that YouTube algorithm out and hit that like button so my video gets more recommended to more people. So, Fly Me to the Moon was a movie that I was definitely excited about. I love the two leads. And while I knew the movie wasn't obviously totally based on an actual true story based on one of the top conspiracy theories or stuff like that, I was still interested to see what the movie would do. And right off the bat, I do want to say that I enjoyed this film. This to me is not an awards film. This is not a going to be my favorite movies of the year, but I just generally had a pleasant time watching this film because it has a lot of positivity and heart really at its core that I do think pushes through more than some of the negatives of the movie that will drag out, which I'll talk about in a second. But overall, I had a good time with this movie, and a big reason why is the two very charismatic, really good leads in Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum. Johansson also serves as a producer on this film, and this was originally supposed to be Chris Evans in this role instead of Channing Tatum, but he pulled out due to scheduling conflicts, which let Channing Tatum get an opportunity here, and he's really good in this movie. I think this is actually, I know there's a lot of Chris Evans fans out there. I think this is a stronger choice from an acting perspective. Tatum delivers in this movie because he has to bring a lot of the heart into the film because he's playing someone who's obviously running this mission. He believes in science and the real people who both are the astronauts who go on these missions, but also the actual technicians and the hundreds and thousands of people who put their work into the moon. And that comes to battle with Johansson's character, Kelly Jones, who's obviously I just said played by Johansson, who she's very good in this movie, but she's not playing one of the more likable characters. She's likable because Johansson's really good, but at the core of it, once you learn more about her, she's brought in there for a specific region. And if you've seen the trailers, you know that Kelly is hired by Woody Harrelson's character to fake the moon landing, shoot a new moon landing, no matter what, if the mission goes well or not. And that brings a lot of drama because obviously Johansson's character is there to be the marketing person, make sure NASA's out there to the world. And you have Cole Davis's character, the character of Cole Davis, who wants to preserve the humanity of what it took to get this mission accomplished and not in lies and not to lie to the American people. And the two of them have very good chemistry together. I don't think that comes as a shock. But Tatum definitely delivers the heart and soul of the movie because he really does feel like a genuine, real person who believes in science and believes in the mission over lying to the American people for the benefit of the higher ups. And I think that that character, the more the movie went on, the more they revealed about that character. And I just really enjoyed Tatum's performance in the movie. Johansson, though, is having tons of fun, especially in the first act. As she's playing this advertising of sorts of person, and she's very good in this movie. They're both always good, and they both bring it in this movie. Always great to see Woody Harrelson and Ray Romano. They don't really have huge roles in the movie, but they each get a lot of fun things to do in the movie as well. As I said, I was not expecting this movie to have as much heart as it did. It's definitely marketed more as kind of a rom-com meets space type thing. And I think the space elements are very interesting, but the movie has a lot of heart, as I said, especially when they dig into the character of Cole Davis and who he is and what the choices he made or didn't make were definitely interesting. And it brought a lot more heart than I was expecting. I was enveloped in the story. I cared about what was going on. And it's a very sweet movie. We've seen a billion, especially Apollo 11. We've seen an actual movie called Apollo 11, a lot of space movies, and we know, and we've seen the perspective of astronauts. We've seen the perspectives of the people who have to put on, create the rockets and all of what goes into that, even in movies like Hidden Figures, for example. But this gives definitely a unique perspective with the marketing advertising element. The fact that NASA was losing a lot of faith from senators, from even the people, that while Vietnam was going on, why should we be spending money to get to the moon while people are risking their lives in Vietnam? I think the movie did a really unique angle into that movie as well. But overall, from a negative perspective, I do think that the movie heavily focuses more on Johansson's character and what she's doing more than Channing Tatum. And I think the movie works more when those two subplots are equally together. But when the movie tries to lean a little bit more into the comedy of fake shooting, a moon landing, and the comedy that comes with that just didn't really work for me, because tonally it's totally different from Tatum's character, who's very serious. Yes, he has his charisma and his comedic jokes in the movie as well, but that's a very serious character who's been through a lot, mixing in with kind of a fake NASA landing with a very over-the-top director in the film and the shooting of it. And I just didn't think tonally the movie gelled all the way as much as I think it was thinking it was. Johansson's character is an interesting flavor into the movie, but as I said, they should have had Johansson's story equally with Tatum's storyline. Just because the movie does, when it focuses too much on the character of Kelly, it loses a lot of the heart and soul of the movie, which is really Cole's character, which is really Tatum's character of Cole. So I do think that the movie had a hard time balancing both, because it wants to not go into the more astronaut space element more than like the making of it. I think it should have been on equal paths. It felt like a little more 65-35 for me as it pertains to that. Also, the movie does try a lot of comedy, and the comedy just wasn't for me. And there's a lot of people who I think, Woody Harrelson is in this movie, Channing Tatum. These are the top 4 leading actors, are all very funny people. I've seen them very funny in other things. The comedy, I just wasn't laughing that much, and felt a lot of the jokes and even 1 or 2 bits didn't really work for me. So I wanted to love this movie, but I do think they lose the heart of the movie too much in the film by choosing Kelly and the more over-the-top story more than I feel like the more realistic story. And the comedy for me was definitely missed. And also, the movie's over 2 hours and 10 minutes. And while I enjoyed myself, you can definitely feel the length in the film. It definitely feels like it's 2 hours and 12 minutes long. So overall, I enjoyed Flying to the Moon. I'm going to probably give this a higher rating than most people, but I'm going to give Flying to the Moon a 3.5 out of 5. I am going to go 72% for the new film that just hit theaters. What are your thoughts on Flying to the Moon? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys soon.